Okay, so if a company has total revenue of $110 and total cost of 120, from which accounting is 100, then it is making an accounting profit of $10. But its economic profit is 110 minus 120, which is minus $10. That means it is making an economic loss. So whenever you are analyzing or whenever you are operating a business, you do not look at the accounting profit, you look at the economic profit, or you should look at the total cost. What is normal profit? Normal profit is the profit at which total cost becomes equal to total revenue. So if I tell you that total cost is $110, if I ask you what is the normal profit for this business, normal profit for this business would be will be $120, because at $120 whole cost will be covered. So the profit at which economic profit becomes zero, that is known as normal profit. So accounting profit at which normal profit will become zero is known as accounting profit at which economic profit becomes zero is known as normal profit. So normal profit is that accounting profit which is enough to set off opportunity cost. So that means accounting profit of $20 will be normal profit. Why? Because it will set off whole opportunity cost. If anything, if I generate, if in excess of that, if accounting profit is greater than opportunity cost, then that is known as economic profit or abnormal profit or supernormal profit. So any company would want to generate at least normal profit. If it is not generating normal profit, that means that it should go out of the business or it should move to any other business. Any confusion so far? Okay, marginal revenue, marginal cost, this has been done. When we talk about cost have two components, variable cost and fixed cost, and when we combine them they become total cost. Variable cost increases if output increases. Fixed costs are generally constant, not always but generally assumed to be constant. If I take variable cost per unit, it will generally be constant in short term. If I take fixed cost per unit, it will decrease. Why? Because if I produce more unit, then fixed cost is constant. If I produce more units, denominator will increase and fixed cost per unit will decrease. And total cost is the sum of these two. So if one is constant, other is decreasing, then total cost per unit will decrease with increase in units. For example, so this is how you make the curve. So this is your total variable cost. It increases with increase in production. This is total fixed cost, remains constant despite increase in production. And if I sum them up, it will be total cost. This difference between total cost and variable cost is the fixed cost. On the other hand, if I make curves of average cost, then average total cost is this, average variable cost below total cost, and average fixed cost is downward sloping. It does not rebound. Why? Because if I produce more, fixed cost will continue, average fixed cost will continue to decrease. Key point to notice that average total cost means total economic cost. So if I am selling at a price higher than average total cost, that is economic profit. If I am selling at a point at which total cost is equal to the price, that is normal profit point. If I am selling at any point below, at any price below than average total cost, then that is an economic loss. So when you are operating at a point at which you are covering total cost and making normal profit, you continue your operations. This is the point at which you break even. You have break even and you continue operations. Why? Because you are making normal profit. if you are operating at any point higher than this, that is more than good. Why? Because you are making abnormal profit. So if price is greater than ATC, you continue operations. If price is equal to ATC, you continue operations. But if price falls below ATC, let's say it falls here, this means you are making economic loss. This means you need to reconsider your decision of operating in this business. So what you do is that in short term, you continue. Why continue? Because if you close down today, you will still have to bear fixed cost. So in order, still you are getting some contribution or making some money to pay off your fixed cost. So you continue in short term and exit in long term. But if your revenue falls even below average variable cost, let's say it falls here, your price falls below average variable cost, then you immediately shut down production. Why? Because producing more gives you more loss. So you immediately shut down production. So remember, if both are equal, that is break even. If price is equal to ATC, that is break even. If price is lower than ATC but greater than AVC, you continue production in short term but stop production in long term. And if price is less than AVC, you immediately shut down production in short term and exit the market in long term. Any problem so far? These are simple marginal revenue and demand curve. This we will do in next reading. In a perfectly competitive firm, demand curve is flat and price and marginal revenue are both same. And so total revenue curve is upward sloping. In an imperfectly competitive market, in a market which is not so competitive or not perfectly competitive, marginal revenue curve is below demand curve. And your total revenue curve is like a bell-shaped curve in which it increases, total revenue increases as long as price is decreasing and demand is elastic. But beyond this point, demand becomes inelastic and total revenue decreases if your price decreases. Something which we have discussed early. And last point is economies and diseconomies of scale. So when you produce more, you get a cost leverage. Your cost of production decreases due to negotiation or due to any other reason. That is known as economies of scale. On the other hand, there might be some cases in which producing more gives you more cost. Why? Because maybe complexity increases. Maybe you have such a high demand that suppliers are not available to meet that demand. And that high demand for raw material have caused raw material prices to go up. That is known as diseconomies of scale. So when increase in size causes cost to increase, that is diseconomies. When increase in size causes cost to decrease, that is economies of scale. So generally in short term you will have economies of scale, but after some point your quantity would increase so much that increasing it further would increase diseconomies of scale. This turning point is known as minimum efficient scale. This is the point at which you have lowest possible cost. So minimum efficient scale is the point at which you have lowest possible cost. Beyond this you have diseconomies of scale, and before this you have economies of scale. And when we talk about supply, you can have short run supply or long run supply. Short run, by short run we mean at least one factor of production is fixed. And by long run we mean all factors of production are variable, can increase or can decrease. So if you can increase supply without changing any resource or with the same amount of resource, that is known as very short run. Very short run supply. Very short run supply is the one in which you have enough resources. You do not need to hire more workers. You do not need to hire increase capital. Without that you can increase supply. That is very short run. Then you have short run supply. Short run supply is the one in which at least one factor of production is fixed. That is, maybe you need to hire more workers to increase output, but you have enough machinery. Or maybe you need to get more machinery, but you have enough worker. That is, at least one of them are fixed. Long run supply is the one in which all are variable. That is, you will need more workers and you will need more machinery. So remember the difference. How do you form long run totals, long run supply? You just take the bottoms of short run average total cost and you add join those points, that gives you long run average total cost curve. So this is it. This you can go through drivers of economies or drivers of this economy. This is it about this reading. Let's take a break. Go ahead.